Well, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, but now Seattle Seahawk Richard Sherman is one of the most infamous, too, after this sideshow on the sidelines on Sunday.
Final play, take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick.
Now, what was Sherman so fired up about? Well, a game-saving defensive play in the end zone involving 49ers wide receiver Michael Crabtree. Now, 24 hours after that post-championship rant made headlines, Sherman issued an apology and said this to ESPN Radio.
Obviously, heat of the moment, everything happens like that. And, it is what it is. Obviously could have worded things better and could have obviously had a better reaction and done things differently. But it is what it is now, and people's reactions are what they are.
Fox Sports reporter Erin Andrews didn't even know initially who Sherman was talking about. The look is priceless. And that made Rush Limbaugh think about a certain someone in the White House.
Richard Sherman thinks that everybody knows that he's got something going on with Michael Crabtree, the 49ers, and nobody knows. I'm sure Obama, at the end of the day, thinks the whole country's thinking about him every day. There's some people so lost in their egos that they really do think that everybody is fascinated what they're doing and knows intimately everything going on in their life.
All right, does anyone at this table know that feeling? Who wants to be the first to raise your hand? But seriously, was that the first thing that came to your mind, Eric? Like, what is going on to make a connection?
Sherman thinks he's Obama?
Yeah, no. Obama.
No, I love Rush, but I think he's a little off on this, just this one right here. Look, here's what happened. So Sherman, there was trash talking going back and forth all week.
Yeah, do the play-by-play.
Sherman, literally, that game right there is 1 inch away from being a 49er win. 1 inch.
Right.
Sherman tipped it with the very tip of his
The 48er.
48. Kimberly, I think you were wrong in that read. He's not one of the best corners in football. He is the best corner in football. He's got a chip on his shoulder, which makes him the best corner. He was a fifth-round draft pick that is now one of the elite players in the NFL. Straight-A student out of high school, the first player from his high school ever to get a full scholarship to Stanford, graduated near the top of his class at Stanford. He's smart. He's got a chip. He hates to lose. Guess what? That sounds like a lot of people who may be sitting at this table who have the same thing going on. But we're not trashing us for being as passionate.
Dana's a great cornerback.
Listen, there's no question the guy's an outstanding cornerback. But what he did by doing that was take all the attention off of his team, who won that as a team. The guy had no right to go out there and shoot his mouth off like that and draw all everybody's talking about is this guy, when they should be talking about an outstanding job for the Seahawks and a very good game all the way around. I mean, who's this guy think he is?
What? So he didn't use the canned response. Yeah, we had a tough game. Our team played together great. Now we'll look forward to Denver. That's what he should have said. And that would have been better TV.
No, he could have said, I just don't want to talk about it right now and walk away. Anything better than that rant. He sounded, I know he's very smart, but on that day, he sounded like an idiot.
He could have said, I hope I'm going to Disneyland in 3 weeks.
Right.
That's all I'm saying about football.
Early on the endorsement.
I think trying to connect what Sherman said to Obama is stretching the limits to like a point of yoga class I have never actually been able to achieve. I thought it was slightly refreshing that it was something different. I don't think it reflected that negatively on Seattle. I think that there's 2 weeks between that game and the Super Bowl. There's a lot of time in between. And his apology, I thought, was well thought out. And there was a lot of adrenaline. The best part to me is Erin Andrews' face.
Totally.
When she's just like so surprised about what he is saying and shocked by it. She's like, wait, who talked? It's almost as if she thought, did I say something negative about him? As if he was talking to her.
Yes, I think, what do you do? Calling him out. But what do you think, Greg, about this? Much to do about nothing?
These stories are now come in two parts. The first part is the act. The second part is the apology. It's the yin and yang of media outrage. And stories like this, for everybody in the media, is like a roast chicken in which you can keep in the fridge for approximately 2 and 3 days and pick off what you want. So Rush sees, maybe I can compare this to Obama, and everybody else talks about this and what that. And then we completely forget about it. I was talking about this with Shep. Nobody remembers the Manti Te'o story that we did for a week. But I wish, that we could have an apology-free month. And a day where everyone can say something offensive, like The Purge. Remember the movie The Purge, but make it about language. And also, we need to return to the virtue of humility. If you're good at something, clearly you can let your actions speak for themselves.
Exactly.
I blame this infection. This is an infection of pop culture into all aspects of our lives that have elevated self-promotion above all else. You can't just be happy doing a good job. You need more.
Oh my God.
You need more. The desire for more goes beyond achievement, and that prevents your actual happiness. That's why he isn't happy, because he feels that he deserves more than actually winning, and that's pathetic.
Or
Can
I take the other side of that?
Yeah, I'm going to too.
Look, free speech. It's refreshing when a guy just
Nobody's telling him he can't say it.
No, but you say that he has to be humble. He has to be humble in a.
What's wrong with being humble?
Nothing's wrong.
I know.
With it,
I know you don't understand it.
No, but why does that's funny? But that's actually a cheap shot, and I don't appreciate that. But go ahead, we'll move on. But why does he have to be humble? It's him.
No, it's actually a
Richard
suggestion.
Sherman has made a career on winning, being aggressive, being passionate, and now he's got to change it because some media critics think he was a thug.
No, I never said he was a thug. What I'm saying is it's not such a bad idea to be humble after you do something great. And that has nothing to do with free speech. Nobody says he can't say it. It's a pretty simple distinction.
The one thing I'll say is that you're in a game like that, you're fighting to win, you're playing one of the best football teams, let's call it like it is, 49er football. Dynasty, people, deal with that.
What?
Dynasty.
I don't know, dynasty.
Okay? So he's excited to be able to beat this team, right? Because it wasn't even a big point spread. It was like 3.5 that Seattle was favored by. That was a game changer right at the end there. The Niners could have won, but for that tip-off. And then, there was a little bit of back talk, back and forth between the teams. So he's saying, okay, you're going to try and call me out, disrespect. And the quarterback threw on him, thinking that he could get it past Sherman. And Sherman's like, there you go. Disrespect me, I'm going to cost you the game.
This adrenaline of the moment. Virtually everybody on that team had press interviews afterwards. He's the only one who shot his mouth off. Now, I do think humility makes a whole lot of sense here. And by the way, I'll say this about you. You're a very good TV guy, excellent TV guy, and you're pretty humble about it most of the time. So there you go. Me, I'm not humble because I ain't very good.
You're excellent. You're the best.
No, but seriously,
in the league.
I think this guy like this, nobody else did it. I mean, who else did it on that whole team? They all had adrenaline running.
Well, but Kaepernick is so much better, don't you think? The quarterback from the Niners is humble and sweet instead of my fault.
Because he steps out of the mold of the good TV interview post-game. He should be, literally destroyed on Twitter. I mean, there was racial commentary going back and forth.
But that's not
he's dumb. He's a thug. He's, and they use some of the worst terms you can possibly use because he wasn't that guy, that one predictable quarterback sitting in the locker room using the same talking points that they all use because they don't, frankly, have anything else to go to.
However, characters in
I think one of the other reasons that it was struck out so much is it was so different. But it was complete opposite of what Peyton Manning said when he was the star interview of the Broncos after their game. And Peyton Manning is the kind of one that when you're watching at home, you're like, oh, I hope that my young son turns out to be just like him because he's so nice and so, I guess, humble would be one of the words, but also gracious. And there's a lot to be said about graciousness when you win. It makes you look better, and then people want to root for you.
That's the point, which I said yesterday. It's really good to be good and humble as opposed to just being. You don't need to be arrogant when you're good.
No, you don't.
You don't.
That's what I'm saying. The 49ers, I thought, were very good, right? At the quarterback, he gave a great speech. He took the blame on his own shoulders. Said it was my fault the team didn't win. And, I don't know. He's a class act. But I want to talk about Jesus.
Dynasty and get it away from the 49ers,
1,000 times. Remember Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott? All right, can we take a listen to this? Because I think this is nice juxtaposition, people. That'll be your word of the day. Thank you so much. Now, this is the Seahawks defensive coordinator talking about faith and the importance of it to this team.
Jesus is better than anything that we could ever hope. Even better than a Super Bowl, better than an NFL career. If we ever to win the Super Bowl, to be able to tell everyone that, no, Jesus is still better. Because as much as we worship this thing called a ring and championship, although we like to have one for sure, I just can't wait to tell people. If that happens, God willing, we'll be able to tell people, yeah, Jesus is way better still.
Then the media is like, ooh, what are we going to do with this? What are we going to say? Remember, this happens in the Olympics when people actually talk about their faith and their graciousness at the end of a win, and they don't praise themselves. They thank God for it. And remember they try to edit some of that stuff out. And this guy he's wearing his heart on his faith on his sleeve, and I found it really refreshing.
And he's there with the quarterback. Russell Wilson and a bunch of the players are nodding their head in agreement about this. The Roll of Fame.
But this is actually making the point I was trying to make as well. So here we have the extreme on the other side. So as Sherman is extreme not humble, loud, passionate, boisterous, annoying. Then you have a group of guys who are humble, talk about God, talk about their faith. I mean, both are okay. Both are just as good as that canned center the aisle commentary that frankly is a little bit boring. I think they're both refreshing.
You're not equating what these guys just said with what Sherman did.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
I think they are the polar opposite of what Sherman did, and both are equally okay.
I think I was glad to hear them say that, and I was glad to hear because we do get caught up, and this becomes such a big, important day in the life of the world now, the Super Bowl. But when you think about it, if you have faith, you think about Christ, and it's not even it's like a piece of sand in a crap hole compared to the Lord Jesus Christ. What? The Super Bowl compared to Lord Jesus Christ is not even.
Okay, so if everything's equal, you would be okay with a professional athlete saying, "I'd like to, I don't believe in God, but I'm glad I made it to the Super Bowl."
Sure.
I don't think so. Not on Fox News.
Me?
No,
I'm on Fox News.
You're okay.
I'm cool with that.
But my point is, also, people enjoy this stuff if it's from a winner.
All right.
If it's from somebody who doesn't do well.
Speaking of winners, what's going to be your favorite Super Bowl ad? We always love to toss these around, reenact a few of them. Take a look at this Bud Light one. It's already making the rounds.
Surprise.
Donnie Lama. Yeah, I just got that.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Cheadle.
How are you, Joe?
Very well, thank you. And you? Hello, Lily.
Okay, now we might need 10 interpreters for that ad.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't get a single bit of it, unless maybe I missed something. Did anybody get it?
I think PETA should be very concerned about what happens in that hotel room.
Only your mind would go there. Yeah.
So they have like 4 or 5 of these that I saw, these provocative, you can't figure out what it is, and then they put the date of the Super Bowl. So I'm assuming during the halftime, they're gonna explain all these.
That Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to ride a llama through a hotel lobby.
Pong, which is really weird.
With a wig on.
I think anyone who you ask what is our favorite.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what my least favorite commercial is going to be.
What?
The one where Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing ping pong.
Okay, so that'd be that ad. Bob and I like the one from last year where the cute girl is kissing the geeky dude.
Yes, I like that very much.
The Fiat.
Yeah, we like to act that one out. Okay, next.